Finally, he finishes the rep with good ball tracking and hand-eye coordination, playing the ball and making this impossible to catch for the wide receiver. Get that garbage out of here, man! Welcome back to another film room. Today, I'm going to break down Derek Stingley Jr.'s debut for the Houston Texans. It was a long-awaited first game for the 3rd overall pick, and Stingley, he was targeted 2 times, gave up 1 catch, and had 1 pass breakup. So let's break down the coverages Houston played and see in depth from the film how Stingley's first action really went, because the film don't lie. Before we get into the plays, I want to give Lovie Smith some preseason praise for his defensive play calling versus the Rams. I charted all 12 snaps that Stingley played with the first team defense, and Smith called a variety of coverages, not just his beloved Tampa 2 like we saw last preseason and throughout the entire first half of the 2021 season. The coverage we played the most versus Los Angeles was actually cover 4, and on these 5 reps that we played cover 4, Houston only gave up 1 catch for 8 yards. Here's that 1 catch Houston gave up in cover 4 on the very first play of the game actually. It's interesting, the Rams roll out to the right and away from Derek Stingley, targeting other areas of the field, and that was a bit of a theme during Stingley's 12 snaps, as he was only targeted twice. On the next passing play, it's 3rd and short, so Lovie gets aggressive, calling a cover 1 blitz. In cover 1, there is only 1 deep free safety over the top, instead of 2 like in cover 4 and cover 2. Additionally, cornerbacks are in man coverage and expected to win one-on-one. Jalen Petrie was effortless in coverage, forcing the incompletion, but Stingley, the focus of this video, was solid too. He's in press alignment, meaning he's lined up on the line of scrimmage to press and challenge the wide receiver. Stingley also uses a jam technique, shooting his inside hand onto the inside shoulder of the wide receiver to throw off the timing of his release and route. Stingley also uses his outside hand to grab the wide receiver's inside hand and make sure the wide receiver can't use a swim move or push off to separate. Lastly, you'll see Stingley plays under control and shows reactionary quickness to break with the wide receiver, and thus there's no throw his way. So we've seen a rep in press man coverage. Now let's look at a coverage, I would still expect Lovie to call quite a bit, cover 2. So how does Lovie want Houston's defense to play cover 2? Well, the idea is with 2 safeties deep, we are taking away the deep explosive plays from the offense. The philosophy is to keep everything in front of the defense, force underneath throws, then have multiple defenders rally to the ball and make the tackle to limit yards after the catch. As for Stingley and the cornerbacks, their job is to line up closer to the line of scrimmage and reroute the first wide receiver that comes their way. By getting hands on the wide receiver, cornerbacks throw off the timing of their route, and maybe it's just by a millisecond or so, but every little second matters in the NFL. So cover 2 may not ask a cornerback to win one-on-one like in man coverage, but they need to do the dirty work to make the entire coverage work together cohesively. Let's keep moving, and the last coverage I want to break down is cover 3. We played it 2 times in Stingley's 12 reps, and here's the 1 catch he gave up that highlight mixes are using to clickbait and make Stingley seem like he's a bust already. It's not that serious. Stingley even said himself, it wasn't nothing, it was just a play. And trust me, he's not trying to just make excuses, giving up 1 catch in your debut just really isn't some monumental failure like media companies are making it out to be. That's especially the point when you understand how cover 3 works and the offensive concept the Rams used. So on this cover 3, Houston is asking their cornerbacks to play press bail technique. Press is the alignment, up on the line of scrimmage, and bail means Stingley is going to turn his back to the sideline and side shuffle downfield to gain depth, bailing away from the wide receiver instead of jamming him to reroute, as we saw earlier. As in all zone coverages, Stingley will keep his eyes on the quarterback, not the wide receiver. He wants to read the quarterback's intentions and be able to pounce on a route. With his eyes on the quarterback and his back to the sideline, it naturally creates a blind spot, an area of the field that Stingley can't see, kind of like how drivers can't see that one spot behind them and to their side. The Rams wide receiver Lance McCutcheon does a great job of getting into Stingley's blind spot, which is the most dangerous spot for a wide receiver to be. From here, Lance can make any break on his route. He can go outside, inside, or stop on a dime. Stingley needs to anticipate where Lance will go without really any information. On this play, he guesses wrong, thinking a curl or out route is coming when it's really an in-breaking post route. That's a decision you kind of live with early on as Stingley gets more comfortable. Additionally though, this route by Lance is the exact type of route that is built to beat cover 3. No coverage is perfect, and every coverage has a hole. It's the offense's job to find it and exploit it. And in cover 3, that hole is right up the seams, in between the cornerback's deep third and the linebacker's zones over the middle. So Stingley didn't have a great chance to make a play on this throw because it was a smart offensive play call by the Rams. And lastly, Stingley's job in this deep third is to prioritize out-breaking routes and curl routes over in-breaking routes. It's actually by design for Stingley to funnel in-breaking routes to his free safety because Stingley has help inside via these defenders' zones, but he doesn't have any other zones helping him out to the outside versus an out-breaking route. So I know I'll sound like a biased Texans fan, but this was really just more of a good play by the Rams than a bad play by Stingley. He isn't absolved of all blame, but the Rams called a great play. The wide receiver ran a great route, and the quarterback threw a perfectly timed throw. In the box score, yes, Stingley gave up a 22-yard catch, but when you watch the film and contextualize this one play, it was really just a play, not a big deal. Now that we got that one play out the way, there were 2 reps in coverage where Stingley played it perfectly. Here, Houston's in cover 1, and the cornerback's job is to align and play with outside leverage, meaning Stingley is going to line up shaded to the outside shoulder of the wide receiver instead of head on. Stingley is expected to maintain that outside leverage throughout the rep because he wants to be in better position to cover an out-breaking route than an in-breaking route. Why is that? Well, in man coverage, the cornerbacks have no help to the outside, but they do have help inside because there is typically a defender in zone coverage over the middle. Unfortunately, our linebackers bit hard on the play action fake, thus Stingley had no help on the inside. So this route looks like it has potential to be completed, but Stingley's athleticism actually cleans it up. You can see that Stingley is playing very controlled, and even though the wide receiver is running to the right and separating a bit, Stingley doesn't want to get too aggressive and leave himself susceptible to a double move. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Trevon Diggs. Instead, he patiently waits for the wide receiver to fully declare his route, and then Stingley turns on the nitro and accelerates to get into the hip pocket and discourage a throw. Stingley's 4.44 40-yard dash speed shows up on film and will be a valuable trait to help Stingley break on the ball and make a play. That football IQ and athletic ability is exactly how Stingley earned his one pass breakup of this game, and boy was it a beauty. Houston is in cover 4 with their cornerbacks playing outside leverage and bailing to protect against the deep throw. Stingley's in a very similar spot to the catch he gave up earlier, where his back is to the sideline, his eyes are to the quarterback, and the wide receiver is getting into his blind spot. Stingley already learns from his mistake and anticipates the correct route this time. He plays so under control in this bail technique, not running too fast, not running too slow either, and this allows him to be able to stop on a dime and explode forward to get into the catch point. The explosiveness measured in Stingley's 38.5-inch vertical and 10 feet 2-inch broad jump that he registered at his LSU Pro Day, that shows up on film as well, and it allows Stingley to blanket the wide receiver. Finally, he finishes the rep with good ball tracking and hand-eye coordination, playing the ball and making this impossible to catch for the wide receiver. Get that garbage out of here, man! Overall, for a rookie quarterback who is working his way back from a major injury, and the coaching staff has been, playing it safe with him in training camp, so he hasn't gotten a lot of reps, Derek Stingley had a positive debut. This was his first taste of NFL live game action, and he more than held his own. Sting showcased the traits that made him many experts cornerback 1 and a top 3 pick. I love how he improved within the game and learned from his mistakes quickly. The hope for Houston is he can continue to improve and ascend into their lockdown cornerback 1, and I think this performance was a solid start. That'll do it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and comment down below your thoughts on Derek Stingley's debut. Also, give me your prediction for how many interceptions and pass breakups Stingley has as a rookie. Alright, take care everyone, come back for more, and remember, the film don't lie!